Okay, this is the first video, or the first part of the vintage Marvin window fan. This is an 8-inch model. It is a, what is it, a model something, I don't remember. There's a sticker, model 282. Maybe it'll focus on that. It's technically, according to the switch, it's 2 speeds, but not really. See, here's a switch, 3 speeds. Good high, low, high, medium, low, and off. Now, one of the motors is slightly bound up, so it makes it seem like that one's low, and ironically, it's the one when on low, that fan's the only one that runs, and that runs at a much lower speed because it's all bound up, I assume. And then the medium speed, just the second fan runs, and that one runs much faster because it's not as bound up. And then on high, both of them run. Rattles a bit. This one runs much slower. This. Here's the front. Always wanted one of these. The feet are up. It's a little bent up, a little rusty here and there, but nothing I can't fix up. It's kind of got some dirt in it. Here it is. You can see it's kind of dirty. Pretty cheap though, and it's in good shape. Other than that little screw there is all screwed up. No pun intended. So I'm thinking maybe I'll replace that one with one of the ones off the other side. These are just little nuts. They just come off. I'm going to take this apart and clean it. Oil the motors and make it look real nice. So this is an 80s model, I think. Maybe late 70s, and the reason I say that is because of the plug. The plug is an 80s or late 70s plug with the extra little piece on it. The AIWC plug. These are pretty popular cords. I see on all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna start taking this apart and clean it up and make an after video. Okay, this is what it looks like now. See, it's much cleaner. It's not perfect, but it's pretty clean. This is the Marvin 8-inch window fan. Cords, so I still have to clean up a little bit. Here's the plug. It's not perfect. I'll clean the cord up a little bit more. I want the switch, but the fan itself is actually pretty clean. Now, it's been running for a couple hours. The motors are nice and hot. Maybe about an hour. There are oil ports, however, there's a bolt that goes straight through, so it blocks the, that's actually pretty warm. This one's warmer. Yeah. Only a little bit, though. This bolt goes straight through, so it actually blocks the oil port. And there are oil ports on the motors. They are shaded pole motors, 2 poles. Square little things. Took them apart, cleaned them and oiled them. Well, I took this one completely apart. This one I couldn't get the front bushing off because the blade was stuck on there. So I had to hold it with a vise, with a plier, and then twist the blade off carefully, which I did, except the shaft is a little marred up and I didn't feel like sanding it. So I just cleaned it and oiled it, and it does work. This motor spins freer than this one. No, this one spins freer than this one, but this one runs a little faster than this one. I re-soaked the oil wicks in both of them with new oil. Oiled the shafts, oiled the bushings, oiled the thrust washers, cleaned the blades. These back motor covers and the screws and stuff are the only things I didn't wash. The blades had been washed. I took out the set screw, I think that's what it's called, that holds the blade on, put them aside, washed the blades. The blades are actually a little stained up. I could not get that off. Not perfect, but it'll do. It actually says oil. Feet work. It's still a little bent up. I haven't straightened that out. Go around to the other side. There's a little oily almost up here. Not really. I put tape over the label to protect it, and then I just cut it up, the tape around the size. This blade was hitting up here a little bit, so I had to bend the grill because it did get a little mushed. Some watermarks on them, and I couldn't get off. They do run though. I'll start it. We'll start it on low, which is just the left fan. Here's the speed it runs. Now I'll start high, or medium, which is just the right fan. This one runs slightly faster. And here goes both of them. Very powerful little window fan. Another thing is, if you ever clean one of these up, these bolts or these nuts will fit on the bolts that hold the motor covers together, but these nuts will not fit on these screws. So that's a little thing to watch out for. There was like this white stuff on the shaft of this motor. It looked like a glue or something, but the other one didn't have it. That's why that blade was really hard to get off. This one actually came off pretty easy. And here's off. You'll see the one that runs slightly faster spins is a little more stiff. Yeah, I'm happy with it. It was pretty cheap. And this actually cost about what a modern window fan would cost. And with some time and some oil and some cleaner, it came out really nice. It's not in perfect shape. I could actually get this thing looking pretty damn good, but I'm not going to put that much time into this particular one. At least not at the moment. Like I said, you can see that's still bent, and it's bent down there. The grills are a little bent. I'm gonna leave everything original. My recommendation is, if you have one of these and you use it, oil the motors at least once every season. Like, maybe if you use it every few months of use. They're pretty cheap motors, they're pretty cheap fans, and the motors in these things will lock up. That's the biggest problem with them. They are thermally protected motors, however, but the design of the motor is a little bit crude, so it might do more damage than good to the motor windings. They're not C-frame motors. They're just small 2-pole shaded pole motors. Not much unique about these. This is the 8-inch one. This is the one. I like the 8-inch ones a little better than the 10-inch ones. But I do want to get a 10-inch model just anyway, just because why not? When I find one that's cheap enough and I find the right one, the right price, the right condition, I'll know it. 10-inch ones are a little more uncommon than these, I think. At least I see more of these. I also put a bid on a couple of Marvin screen fans. They're both 8-inch ones. One has this blade design, the other one has the older blades, which is just a straight narrow blade. I don't know how that's gonna end. There is a little bit of damage on this. You can see that nut is all damaged, all dented in on the motor. covers. A little rust, a little bending, dents. The grills are a little dented up. Not bad though. Not bad at all. I've always wanted one of these, I just never thought that I could get one. Like, whenever I had the chance to buy one, I was sitting there thinking, yeah, I'll look at them. I looked around at some, and I'm like, okay, I'll look at that one. I'll keep that one in mind, and then I kind of just forgot about it, and then I did it again. I did that a few times. I took this thing completely apart, took the blades off, took the motors apart, took the motors out, washed the frame, the grills on the front and back, this piece on the front and back. I labeled which one's which. The one on the inside's a little nicer condition, so I wrote on the inside this in, and the inside this one out, because the outside one's a little more marked up. Washed the front motor covers, washed the blades. The only thing I didn't wash was the cord, the motors themselves, and the back motor covers, because I didn't want to undo all the wiring. And the screws and stuff. I let them all dry, and then before I put it back together, I used some Windex on the blades to get some watermarks off and to polish them up a little bit. And I used some Windex also on the back motor housings and the cord and the switch. Has a Bakelite type material switch. This fan, I'm not sure if it's older than I think it is. It's very possible that this fan is actually older than I think, and it just has a new cord. But being that the fan says 60 hertz on it and not 60 cycles, it seems there's some things on this fan that make it seem like it's a little newer, but there's also some things that make it older. Like the design of the motors is kind of older. It's not the C-frame motors they switched to on the newer ones. Whatever, I like it. I'm happy with it. Just show the sticker. It's kind of hard to see that, I think. Very nice. Very happy with it. And before it gets, once it warms up and it doesn't get ungodly hot, once it's like 65, 70 degrees, I'll be able to use this a little bit. And I can also use it as a floor fan, which I could see me doing this, because this fan surprisingly seems very stable. Some of these window fans are unstable. This one's actually really stable on its feet, and that's with a slightly bent foot. So, until next time, thanks for watching.